Look at this weather. It's all cold and icy and slippery, and that makes me, and probably you, want to drive something that's really good in the snow. Maybe you're a bit of a driving enthusiast. You have a dog, you like to go camping, and you do things at lakes. What you might be after is something maneuverable, good on gas, all-wheel drive, and with a manual transmission. That's a tough combination to find these days. Tough but not impossible. Sounds like you need a Subaru.
This is the Crosstrek, and here's the setup. You give your Subaru dealer $25,000 or $27,000 for this model with the Sport package, and you get symmetrical all-wheel drive, a 2-liter 148 horsepower flat 4, a 5-speed stick, a compact but flexible cargo hold, room for 4 adults on board, and this cheeky athletic look applied to a machine that seems sized just right to handle a wide range of activities without being huge and cumbersome and difficult to park. There's decent ground clearance, traction galore from an all-wheel drive system that's always extracting the maximum possible grip from the surface beneath, and a ride that's car-like where comfort and maneuverability are concerned. The suspension is set sporty taut, but it's not uncomfortable and should prove ready for hours-long cruises, provided you're not expecting a ride squishier than an over-buttered stack of pancakes. Inside and out, Subaru has honed Crosstrek's look this year, and the new wheels, accents, and add-ons outside make it look more poised, sophisticated, and smart. Inside, the layout is typical Crosstrek, plenty of storage within arm's reach, numerous display screens each with their own theme, and an upright and commanding driving position. The materials are upgraded for a more upscale feel, and these sport seats are great, complete with nice details and contrast stitching in orange that's repeated on the steering wheel. You get automatic climate control, a sunroof, heated seats, a full driver computer that even monitors what the all-wheel drive system is up to, and a Bluetooth phone hookup so you don't get a chatty driving ticket. In all, now the interior brings the Crosstrek more in line with its competition, and all the must-have features are on board. Outward visibility is above average, thanks to the tall driving position and tall windows. Functionality? Well, you get surprisingly roomy rear seats, a cargo hold that's spacious and fitted with easy-to-fold seat backs for easy setup to just about whatever combination of people and gear you're carrying, and up front, there's no shortage of bins and cubbies and cup holders that fall within reach. So, end of the day, here's a small crossover that's sporty and sharp where looks and feel are concerned, and a crossover that packs a just right amount of flexibility and space for virtually any activities a young couple or small family might throw its way, and all with an eye for keeping maneuverability and fuel economy nicely in check. That's thanks to this 4-cylinder boxer engine with pistons that fire at the tires and low wide mounting in the engine room, helping lower the center of gravity. And though its 148 horsepower is modest, the mileage is highly respectable, and the engine isn't afraid to work. It sounds and feels happy and smooth just about all the way through the rev range, and though if you're a performance buff this isn't the machine for you, this little 4-cylinder will be just fine for the majority of shoppers, prioritizing mileage over firepower. The 5-speed manual is smooth, easy to use in traffic, and has a moderate bite from the clutch pedal, so it doesn't feel like it's made of boiled lettuce. With only 5 gears, highway revs are curiously high, landing around 3,000 RPM, though mileage stayed reasonable on my watch despite the excessive revs. If you like traction, you'll love this thing. Given the modest power output and fast-acting, precise action of the all-wheel drive system, you'll have to try pretty hard to spin a tire here. Drive sensible, and Crosstrek simply moves through or over anything slippery thrown its way. No wasteful wheel spinning, no squirming as power is split between the axles, and maybe most notably, without more than just a tiny bit of wheel spin at one axle before the other kicks in, meaning you won't dig yourself into deep snow before your 4-wheel traction engages. As all-wheel drive systems go, and I've driven them all, this one is one of the best, and that's largely because you almost never know it's there.
And the interesting thing about how well this all-wheel drive works is that a manual transmission-equipped Subaru like this one is not using a sophisticated system that's constantly monitoring a sensor network and making millisecond decisions on where to send the engine's power. Instead, it's using a viscous coupler, which in very simplified terms is a mechanical device that sort of glues the front and rear drive shafts together when there's wheel spin at one axle but not the other, and releases them when the wheel spin stops. That's a simple and low-tech way to do all-wheel drive, but Subaru has been perfecting it for decades, and it works like a charm.
Ditto the brakes in the snow. Straight and stable stops come quickly when you stand on that brake pedal, though the Blizzak tires fitted to this tester for winter driving deserve at least half of the credit for the fast stops. Other notes, ride quality is typical Subaru, slightly taut and sporty with a layer of softness around the edges for comfort and a calibration that maintains that feel consistently, almost regardless of the surface beneath. Even the roughest roads I could find did little to coax any unwanted noise or harshness from the suspension. Mileage on my watch landed a tick under 10 liters per 100 clicks, respectable especially given the heavy snow and extreme cold I encountered during a week of driving. Complaints are fairly minor, keeping the context and intentions of this machine in mind. The ABS system is loud, meaning you'll hear it buzzing away when stopping fast or when the stability control kicks in. Further, the central command system leaves something to be desired. It's far from the segment's prettiest or most intuitive, and looks and feels overdue for an update. Finally, unless you're an octopus with highly flexible appendages, you'll find these heated seat switches awkward and difficult to reach. Ultimately, and this is interesting, there isn't a single attribute where featured content or specifications are concerned that really stands out in this machine. For Crosstrek, instead, the big appeal is just how well it ticks all of the right boxes as a flexible, confidence-inspiring crossover that's efficient with space and efficient on fuel. All said, here's a machine with many strengths and few weaknesses, and one that does what it needs to do for its target shopper really, really well. Thanks for watching.